If you're LDS, I don't think you're going to enjoy this video because I'm talking about the things that let me out of the church. And today I want to talk about one of the heaviest shelf items that I had, and it happened during my mission where my companion was sick. This was back when swine flu was like a new thing, and my companion was out indefinitely, right, sick. And so I was at home trying to find something to do. We were living in a member's home. It was in their basement, and they had a nice library, right? They had all sorts of interesting books that I probably would have read if they had been more LDS or faithful. But there was a couple in particular that got my attention. I look over, and there was one about Joseph Smith. It was like old writings. I don't remember the name, and that one is not as important for our stories, but the other one was Journal of Discourses, and I was super excited because I kind of get to learn from one of the greats. And I open it up, and it's Brigham Young's it's one of Brigham Young's talks, and it was one of the most hateful filled things that I have ever read. The way that it talked about the natives was pretty disgusting, to be fair. And so I remember reading this and realizing that there's no way that this is inspired, right? And so what really broke me was that I could see that this was a discourse that was done, I think it was like at a general conference or equivalent, and realizing that this was just like the mentality of the time, and also remembering that there was a scripture that says that church or God will never let the church be led astray, and realizing that God had allowed that human to be the leader and to say all sorts of awful things, because trust me, as you kept skimping over the book, it just got worse. And so it was really difficult for me at the time to realize that, like, wait a minute, there's all these teachings that are not of God. They can't be. They're full of hatred, and they were currently a prophet when they said these things. And so I felt like I couldn't do it, and so I just shoved that book and put it back in the shelf. And it's kind of ironic because I put it on the shelf, and I also put it on my mental shelf, and I didn't really deal with it until years later when I started deconstructing. But it always bothered me. I remember how, like, I'd be doing my thing, right? Maybe I was sitting at church and randomly that thought would come into my head, and I would be like, ew, no, put it back on that shelf. Anyways, if you are curious and you want to see what I'm talking about, you can find it in the Internet Archive. I think it's internetarchive.org. I'll put up the link so you can find it. Then you just type the name of the book that you're looking for, and you'll be able to confirm that I wasn't making anything up.